Hey guys, just a video. I've had a few requests asking about drum processing and tips. So I thought I'd throw together a drum beat and just like sort of give some tips and stuff. I'm going to be using Ableton. It is running through Logic as well, um, but that's just how I'm doing it for the time being. Um, One thing I will say about doing drums is it's normally very much easier to do it in a um, either a drum sampler or just a sampler. For example, in Live you've got the drum rack, um, and in Logic you have uh, Ultra Beat. Um, uh, and what putting your drums into something like um, a drum sequencer or a sampler allows you to do is it allows you to shape your sound to get it. You can get it really tight. So you can do crazy effects with it, and you can just like it makes editing your samples quite easy. Whereas if you just do it with audio and just drag audio in, yes, it can be good at times, um, but it's not as versatile as putting into, say, like a drum sampler like Drum Rack or Ultra Beat. So I'll just crack on and start dragging some samples in and just try and explain what I'm doing as I'm going along. So first things first is to find a kick. I always like the ones in the electroshock packs. That'll do for now. One thing it's probably important to mention is that normally when you're going to start a mix down, normally what you'll do, or at least I do, and I've seen a number of videos where people also do the same, is you'll turn everything down. So you'll like turn all your faders down, um, and you'll sort of bring the kick up to a certain level, so it's peaking at a certain level on your output. Normally this will be between around probably about -12 or -8, because what this allows you to do is bring all the levels up, and by the time you finish mixing your track, you'll have enough headroom on your output so that if you do decide to send it for mastering, you'll have enough headroom for them to play around with. So I'll set my kick to actually know what I'll do is I'll create a drum beat and then I'll sort of mix it as though I was mixing a drum beat. So let's just put an F4 on the floor kick. There we go. Now let's find some claps. Again, I like the claps in the electroshock pack. It's also sometimes nice to let your kick go and play your claps alongside it, so you can get sort of feel for it as well. Oh yes, I turned all my stuff down. There we go. Now let's try again. My computer's going a little bit slowly, but that sounds quite good. Oh, the clap does anyway. One thing I'll probably say about now is why I like Ableton so much, is it allows you to play stuff along and also audition stuff very quickly. So if I quickly play the claps and the kick, I'll show you how I audition stuff while it's playing. Just a second. There we go. That's quite a nice snare. But normally, if I wasn't recording a video, this would be going a lot faster and I'll be able to audition a lot faster and hear everything. But I like the sound of this, so we'll use this as one of our claps. One good thing to do with your claps, some people like it, I've heard others don't particularly like it, is to move or offset your claps from your kick. This creates a sort of a more human groove to it. So if I do that quickly, what I'll do is I'll drag it to one of the extremes so you can basically hear what I'm doing, and then I'll move it closer and closer until where I think it sounds nice. So here it is without the offset, and I'll drag it to the extreme. You can hear it sounds quite messy. But if you drag it to like something like this, it gives you a nice sort of a more human element to it than if it was just here. So that's one clap. Let's go and grab one from the other electroshock pack. Yeah, that will do. Right, so if we take these and drag them here, and do the same with these. Oops. Right, so there we've got some claps. What you can do with these, if you really want to, is in your whatever drum sequencer you're using, you can pan it. You can pan one left, one right. What I tend to do is I'll use one of the Waves plugins to make it slightly more stereo. If you're using Ableton, what you can do is you can use a simple delay, knock the wet dry all the way up, turn the syncs off, turn that to about 1, and that should, I say should, give you a more stereo feel. So if you're using Logic, you can use, let's have a look, where's the clap coming in? The clap should be on there. Yep, there we go. If you're using Logic, you can use the stereo delay. Not the stereo delay, what am I talking about? You can use the sample delay, that's the one. And you can like move this about by say 300 samples. What this effectively does is it will play the right channel 300 samples later than it does the left channel. So a comparison of this one is this. Anyway, I'll process that how I process it in a sec. Right, let's get a snare in there. Right, let's go for that snare we had earlier. I think it was number 4. You know what I mean. Right, there we go. Let's just see how this sounds. Normally what we'll do is we'll do some EQing and sort of balance the levels between these two to get it sitting quite nicely. Right, let's quickly draw in a hat and see what happens. Right, let's find a hi-hat. And that'll do for the time being. One good thing to do sometimes if you're really stuck on finding sounds is just to drop stuff in so you can get a groove going as quickly as possible, and then you can like start changing your sounds around and just like getting some different sounds in. See what else we've got. Yeah, it's slightly nicer. One thing I will also say is do not be afraid to use loops. Do not be afraid to use them. Most people, I mean, when I started producing, all my friends basically shunned loops. They said, don't use them, like they make all your stuff sound really bad. They don't. One thing you can do is you can chop them up. For example, let's find a loop. Alright, I'm just going to turn this down in Logic because otherwise it's going to be quite loud. So that'll be coming in on there. Right. One thing loops can be good for is like if you just drag them in, you can get some quick ideas in. You can like learn what sounds nice. One thing I'll do is I'll show you how I normally go about deconstructing loops in order to get elements that I like out of the loops. Let's try and find one I like. I know, I'll find the hi-hat loop that I like to use. I think it's, oh wait, no, it's not that one. Drag this one in. Right, so that's like a nice hat for the top of it. Let's go and find some more loops. Let's look in pack 2. I'll probably explain the reason why I've turned these down to -6 because when you import samples into drum rack, it's already turned the volume down and they're peaking at around -6 anyway. So if I don't turn these down to -6, what will happen is they'll be about 6 dB louder than these, and it'll be really, really loud. Right, so let's see what this sounds like. I'll probably say one thing I'm not looking for a whole loop to fit with what I'm working on. I'm like listening for like maybe specific hits within the loop. And then what I'll do is I'll go in and like sort of envelope it and just take out the bits that I like the sounds of. Right, this is taking quite a while. If I don't find something soon, I'll just drag a random loop in and just cut something out of it. Go to our first loop and just cut something out of that. Right, let's say it's like this little bit here that I like the sound of. What I can do is I can go into envelope mode, go to clip volume, take it down to just like the 2 beats, and go in and just basically turn the volume down. So this is basically a volume envelope, and what I'm saying is everything inside the red area I want to be heard, and everything outside the red area is not going to be heard. So there you go, you can hear I've just roughly cut that out. Let's see, I'll get one more loop in quick, and then I'll quickly do some like little bits of processing and stuff. I quite like the shuffle that these hi-hats here give to the beats, but I don't like the claps or snares in the actual loop. So what I can do is similar to what I did before. I can enable my clip envelope And I can basically take these out. And now what I should be left with is just the hi-hats. And also you can hear at the end there's a bit of low end. So what I'll do at the end is I'll EQ that out, and I'll just be left with the hi-hats. So if I play everything, you should have this. Right, now let's do a little bit of processing quick. Right, if we turn everything down, like I said I would at the beginning. Right, these can come up to 0 as we're going to be just working with volume normally anyway. Right, let's start with the kick. We're going to go for about -12 dB, so let's go. There we go. It doesn't matter if it's like gone over slightly. As long as you've got enough headroom by the end, then you'll be fine. Right, let's turn up our claps. Right, that should do. Now do the same with our snare. Sometimes when blending claps and snares, it can be helpful to just have them both playing without the kick. Also, bear in mind that I'm trying to mix this through my headphones, and not even my studio headphones, as I do own a pair. This is just like a pair of headphones with a microphone attached to it, so my mixing isn't going to be 100% spot on like it. Well, it's not going to be anywhere near as good as it is when I'm using my monitors and my studio headphones. Right, let's get our hat in. And bring in our hat loop. Right, bring in our percussion. And finally our shuffly hi-hats. Take some of this out. So that's like a sort of rough mix. Right, so in here we've got these are all my Ableton channels here. So snare, hat, and then the rest. Right, so kick we always want in mono. Let's just check the analyzer. Okay, my computer seems to be going a bit slowly, but what I'm going to do is I will stop this video and I will basically do a two-parter. So if you click on in my channel, you'll probably find the second part of this video. So if you go there, you'll basically find out what I've done with the loop after this video. So I'll see you in part 2.